but you keep listening, I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to show you why your fears are running rampant and why your fears are what's driving you and why your fears are winning. The only enemy you have is what's going on in your mind. The moment you learn to master your mind, which is where all the fears and doubts and anxiety are drummed up, then you will know peace. We want to point outside of ourselves for every single thing that's going on in our lives. And I'm telling you, what's going on in your life is a direct reflector of what is going on in your mind. Now, I know that's not easy to hear. When I first came to this understanding, and it wasn't that long ago, I was pissed. There was so much of me that was so mad that I had expended so much energy into so many other things, when getting what you want and living the kind of life you want to live and having expectancy and that expectation not being cut off has always been at your fingertips. But there's been so much delusion around it, with everybody wanting a piece of you, that there was no way for most of us to truly get it. Now, things have changed. So while a lot of you are looking at a lot of the changes around and upset about the changes, I'm telling you, it is the best possible thing for you right now. Embrace the changes, because in these changes, you're going to find the real you. You ready to get into this? I am. Let's do it. Hi, my name is Zara Green, and I'm glad you're here. If you have not seen yesterday's video, where I break down the distinctions between Christianity and New Thought in order to explain an external God versus an internal God, which makes all the difference in what you actually get in this world, and then to understand the intentionality behind it from the Roman Catholic Church, you want to do that. You have to understand who you are. Know thyself. And listen, I taught personal development my whole life, interpersonal skills. I always talked about understanding your core. But I'm telling you, understanding who you are at this level, baby, will help to transmute every single thing in your life. And it's really good to have some interpersonal skills. I mean, what I taught and my books and all that stuff are still relevant. And understanding this makes it all the better. In fact, everything other than this is the long way. This is a shortcut to having the life you desire, including in the space we're in. It does not matter what life is looking like. It does not matter what seems to be collapsing. It does not matter how things are changing. This is not the first time that whole countries are going through in entire transformations, and people are able to thrive through them. But I'm telling you, most of the time when this happened, they had a direct connect. They didn't have no barriers. So in order to really get through this, there will be those who have a direct connect, learn how to do this, and they are able to transmute every fear. So ultimately, yesterday you learned that you are God. You learned that you are not your body, that you, the real you, formed your body. The absolute is your mind. Now that you understand that the absolute, all that is, the creator, God, however you've referenced in the past, now that you understand that where the absolute abides is your imagination, then you know that that is your mind now. Understanding that that is your mind, and this is the Fear, Mind, Effery series, then what's going on in your mind, the fears that are driving you in your mind, is you not understanding the power that lies within your mind. And that is exactly what he wants you. Having you feeling like you are out of your mind because you don't know how to control it. And your psychological faculties have you believing that you are mad, having you believing that you cannot control yourself, having you believing that all the thoughts that you have are you, having you completely out of your mind. So let's do a recap that might sound familiar if you came out of the church. I told y'all it's a very thin line the way they did this. But the difference in expecting from an outside God and taking the Bible literal and expecting from the God that you are because you have controlled your whole mind makes all the difference. You have different functions of one mind. Let's break it down. The absolute, the creator, is omnipresent. That means there is nowhere that the creator is not. There is nowhere God is not. Anything that you could have any kind of concern about, then the creator is there. And if the creator is there and you came out of the creator, guess who else is there? Oh yes, honey, you are God. You are omnipresent. The very same stuff that the creator is made of, you are. So since you're omnipresent, you are also omniscient. That means you are all-knowing. But if you are not practicing, you're all-knowing. If you don't even know omnipresent is an option for you, then how are you going to exercise it? Well, you're not. And that is the point. If you still expect it from outside of you, you never will tap into the power that you are, the power that you are, not that is inside of you, because the power that you are is mind, and mind is not physical. Your body was formed from your mind, from the mind that came out of the absolute. You are one and the same with the absolute. So all that the absolute is, you are. So omnipresent, omniscient, all-knowing, omnipotent, all-powerful. You are indeed all-powerful, even though you've spent your whole life being told, and by the church, that you are lowly and you are beneath and you are nothing without God when you are God. You see, as long as you are thinking that you are less than all that is, you will never use that power. You'll never step into it. You'll never understand that it's even possible for you, let alone start to look for how to use it. But you keep listening, I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to show you why your fears are running rampant and why your fears are what's driving you and why your fears are winning. Omnificent, all creative. So any problem you come up against, there is a creative force that you are, that when you learn how to tap into it, then you learn how to win in every situation, because you are all powerful. And because God is omnipresent, then God is everywhere. God is within everything. God is in me. God is in you. There is no person on the face of the planet that God is not. All is mind, oneness. All is of the same mind. All is of the same Christ consciousness. Y'all get rid of this born again. You got to be born again in order to have the mind of Christ. You don't have the mind of Christ until you start operating in all of your omniscience, your omnipresence, your omnipotent, your omnificence. And that is how, as we continue to go through this, you will understand what prayer is and how you actually go about praying. It's not out there, y'all. Ain't nothing out there. Your whole life is a reflector of what's going on in your mind. Your whole life is a mirror. So what you see is what you have created through your imagination, even if it's been through absolute ignorance. You don't want to see what you've been seeing, then it's time to get past the ignorance. You got to get past the ignorance. You got to learn this stuff more and really step into it. All right, laid a little bit more foundation on that side. Let's get to the fears and how it is that the fears have been given full reign to run your life.